case you confused it with Mystic, Texas. The beach is a restricted area, but these idiots are walking around for their vacation with no thought for why it might be restricted in the first place.
What a nice relaxing day at the beach.
You can smell how awkward the line reading is. This was clearly not rehearsed at all beforehand. A jump cut to the same shot. Somehow.
I just wish we could do something more exciting.
Also, this is the first of many lazy fourth wall breaks. Also, turning to the camera to signify that the characters are aware of how forced the setup is itself a sin.
Hey guys!
Young Jacob sounds like an awkward older teenager inhaled a button of helium as in attempting to imitate what his annoying younger third cousin sounded like at a party where he only met him once.
Come over here, I found something!
You'd better come take a look at this, cliché.
It's a message in a bottle.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
What does it say?
To whoever finds this bottle, I am a dying archaeologist.
Jacob cringingly slows down his reading of the notes so that the flashbacks cross dissolve as time to take over.
I am a dying archaeologist. By the time you read this, I will be dead.
This repetitive sentence is repetitive.
I must tell you of my greatest discovery, the jewels of Erutnevda.
Roll credits.
If you follow the trail of hints, and you are worthy, you will find them.
Worthiness has nothing to do with being able to find ancient artifacts. Unless you're in a movie, that is.
For some strange reason, all the clues are hidden in reverse chronological order. 3 of them have not yet come into existence.
Well, if they're hidden in reverse chronological order, doesn't that mean that the last clue which leads directly to the jewels was the first one that was hidden? That means he already knows about it. There is no reason as to why this archaeologist wouldn't be able to find the jewels. And why not just give them that clue and skip the whole running around aimlessly thing? Or would that just not make them worthy enough?
Here are the coordinates for where I estimate the first clue will be.
How could you possibly know where these clues will be and when? No explanation? Then send for you.
You want us to go on some wild goose chase following the directions of a rambling madman based on a note you only just discovered to lead us to a treasure that may or may not even exist?
Eric would be great at YouTube sins.
Following the directions of a rambling madman based on a note...
Come on, Boo, it'll be fun.
Boo?
Yeah, it'll be an adventure!
Wow. Just wow. Roll credits. Oh, the credits are rolling. Does that mean we're done? No? Damn it. Also, Erutnevda is adventure spelled backwards. Enough said. Not only does this movie have both beginning and end credits, which altogether is almost 1 minute 20 seconds, might I add, Jacob puts himself into more of his own credits than Tommy Wiseau. That's a place name, not coordinates. Also, in case you confused it with MIT campus Tokyo, Japan. Looks to me like the zoom button got stuck.
Well, this looks like the place.
The director can clearly be seen in the reflection here, because it's so important that we see them entering the museum. Not only is there a regular pointless time-wasting montage, there's also this incredibly pointless split screen montage. A lot of these clips, including the scene after the montage, takes place at the Boston Museum of Science and not the MIT Museum, even though this movie is desperately trying to convince me they're the same place. This is despite including easily recognizable parts of the museum, like, say, this giant Van de Graaff generator.
This machine is generating a secret code. It looks like that's the surface of the moon, with a message, I think, from Neil Armstrong.
How can a plasma ball generate a secret code? Also, how's a secret code an image? It's not very secret if you can see it that easily. And how can you even tell that it's really from Neil Armstrong?
What does that mean?
Jacob gets easily distracted by a bell noise in the background and forgets where the camera is. In this here travel sequence, it appears that Jacob is awkwardly moving his jaw. It's like they said, here, eat a gluten-free bagel. It'll make you look like even more of a 14-year-old. Area 51 and a half. Just in case you confused it with Roswell, Kentucky. The fact that these people just happen to be marching past at just the right moment and also have the same shirt color as the guard is incredibly improbable, and the downright amazingness of this event is worth a subtraction.
Of course! It has to be here!
Why would the national US government salvage in secret all the pieces of the Apollo 11 rocket, reassemble them, and then put them on display in a secret base?
On the rocket that went to the moon? How can someone hide a clue here?
How did these guys not only put together that the clue was in the Apollo 11 rocket, which, by the way, is not the only rocket to go to the moon, but also figured out exactly where it was and how to infiltrate a government base to find it.
Stop right there! How did you get into this high-security facility?
Was that supposed to be intentionally funny, or was that just an editing error? Either way, it's a sin.
Lucky guess?
What? That doesn't even make any sense.
This guard would be great at YouTube sins.
Well, as long as you're here, I need your help.
And I thought the other acting was bad. This sounds like they just took someone from the side of the street and... Holy crap, I was just joking, they actually did that?
When Neil Armstrong visited the moon, we collected many rock samples.
Obvious script reading.
But with your obvious infiltration skills.
What is that look? Reused travel montage. The name of the museum in this movie very much disagrees with this sign. Oh, I get it. Peculiar. Because oddities. Also, the Woodman Institute is in Dover, New Hampshire, not Peculiar, Missouri. Yeah! Oh, where did they come from? Either that was the sloppiest transition I have ever seen, or that's how they teleport, just by the cameraman zooming so far into the frame that they just materialize.
The Museum of Oddities. That was quite a travel scene.
Characters being aware of the travel scene, but not making an easily makeable joke about the reuse of the travel scene.
Well, I guess it's time for us to just start looking around for a rock.
At this point, everybody seems to have forgotten about the jewels, and they're on this side quest for most of the movie to find this moon rock for this random guard. This movie's title is false advertising.
Why did our clothes just change?
The guard is aware of the changing clothes, even though she's the only one not changing clothes, but is not aware of her own changing face.
I'll explain later. It happens a lot.
No, you won't, and also, why are you talking to the camera? The guard is over there.
Who?
12 straight seconds of the same bad who pun.
I'm a social moth.
Lazy dad joke told by someone who typically condemns dad jokes.
Everyone meet the Beatles.
I am the walrus.
Two Beatles references in one scene. A second split-screen montage. That does nothing but pad the runtime.
Let us out.
These creepy dolls. Imitating a wolf face.
Can we have his address?
Why?
Elevator music.
Well, that seems like a reasonable reason to give out private information.
This works. Reused travel montage. In case you confused it with Boston, Wisconsin. The thinnest house in the world is actually the Carrot House in Poland. The place depicted here is called the Skinny House, which is 6 feet wider than the Carrot House at its thinnest point. Why the zoom in on this particular window? Is the cameraman a perv or something?
What? It happened again! Our clothes just...
We told you, we'll explain later.
Reused joke that was confused to begin with.
There's a poster over here. There's a note on the door. It's a missing persons poster
Which is it?
of the manager of the Museum of Oddities.
That face. Also, why would a missing persons poster be on the house of the person who's missing?
It says that he was last seen at the town of his birth, an old town on the west coast.
Puberty.
Now we have 4 mysteries on our hands.
Wait, what are any of these mysteries again? I can hardly keep track of the thing about the jewels.
Well, I suppose I'm coming along as well.
Notice the expression on her face that reads, what have I gotten myself into? Reused travel montage. Treating the West Coast like a single place. Subtle. Real subtle. Matching son and dad shirts.
Wheezy! Wheezy, I'm coming!
Mixed up Sanford and Son reference.
You hear that, Elizabeth? I'm coming to join you, honey.
Moraine.
It took a solid 3 seconds to react to something he was directly staring at.
If work stops, values decay. What does it mean?
Well, what do you think it means? Sounds pretty self-explanatory to me.
Sound financial wisdom. Keep out of debt.
Silly nonsensical YouTube video offering legitimate financial advice.
What could it mean? Is it relevant?
No, none of these montages have been relevant. I have a feeling these people couldn't find the ghost town that was supposed to be by these financial message stones, so they just spliced together the footage of there with footage of an older looking house somewhere else. Still a sin. Gee, I wonder if this conspicuously placed paper is important in some way.
Well, we're here.
Where is everyone?
Looks looks like this place has been abandoned for years.
Yes, a total ghost town, other than that truck barreling down the road that's suspiciously trying to remain outside the frame.
But according to the missing persons poster, this town was hustling and bustling just a few weeks ago.
Jacob saying that it used to be hustling and bustling, drowned out by the current hustle and bustle of a noisy highway. Rule 1 of film, show, don't tell.
Well, what could have happened?
A completely valid, interesting question that will once again be completely glossed over and never answered.
Hey, look at this!
You'd better come take a look at this cliché.
The town records!
I'm not even going to bother explaining how lazy and contrived this scene is.
The manager of the Museum of Oddities was directly related to a sibling of an ancestor of King George III.
Why not just say that he's related to an ancestor of King George III? The story is unnecessarily convoluted enough.
Well, with our luck, this might very well just be
A jump cut to the same shot. Again.
a clue!
Holding on this shot for almost a whole second.
Quick, we need to get to England, fast, to the submarine!
Why do they even have a submarine? With the way they've wandered into a restricted beach and broken into a government facility, I wouldn't be surprised if they stole it. Oh no, the story's getting so many plot holes and loose ends that reality itself is devolving into what looks like a Monty Python cartoon reject. The inside of this submarine looks suspiciously like the inside of a certain car I know. So do those underwater trees. At least, I assume they're underwater.
Well, that was quite a trip.
Jacob is about as excited to have just been in a submarine while on a global spanning adventure that resembles a bad ripoff of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, as I would be watching a bad ripoff of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. In case you confused it with jolly old Australia. Bancroft Tower is in Massachusetts, not England. This is easily look-upable. Heck, they even give us the plaque. Once again, it looks like the zoom button got stuck.
I know. This adventure is getting more complicated by the minute.
Jacob believes that by pointing out how convoluted and stupid this is, that it'll somehow make it less stupid. He is sorely mistaken. This weird, pointless shot of Eric standing around.
Quick, let's go explore the castle.
Not being able to actually explore the castle, they just end up running around it for a bit that goes on for far too long. This random guy with a death wish. Graffiti on a historical site that has nothing to do with the plot. We actually see the costume for the guard being just casually carried around in this shot. Wait, how did he get on top of the castle? There's no way you're telling me he actually climbed. Oh. You know what? That's actually clever. With the way that the acting and story has been in the movie so far, this is either characters we haven't seen before being played by Jacob and Monica in an unrelated scene that goes nowhere, the characters of Jacob and Monica just fooling around, or the actors improvising and goofing off when they thought the camera wasn't rolling. Anyway, it's a sin. Literal cliffhanger. Or, in this case, ledge hanger. So it's not literal. Screw it. Just add a sin.
Who do you think I am? An archaeologist?
I learned how to read runes at the museum.
Wait, who's this guy? On the shirt, it also says Dr. David Percival, so did the guard just spontaneously clone himself?
It either says Pickle Baby Pink, Googly-Eyed Voodoo,
These lines were scripted.
or go to South America at these specific coordinates. 327.562 by 367 by 821.
These so-called coordinates were improvised. You can tell because there are 3 numbers instead of 2. Longitude, latitude, and what? If it was altitude, it would have a unit like meters or feet. But what else could it be? Verisimilitude? I doubt it.
Learning how to read runes in a museum.
This blooper is left in the middle of the travel sequence. Either that, or it's telling us that both guards were left behind in order to prevent the inevitable time paradox. And I thought grouping together the whole West Coast was bad. Now they're not even specifying what region, they're just saying what continent they're on.
Do you guys feel like you might be influenced by some sort of animal, outlandish, outer space spirit?
I can't tell if this is the people fooling around, or if this was meant to be an on-purpose joke, or if this is meant to be taken seriously. It's never mentioned again, so I guess it doesn't matter. Still a sin. In the time it takes for a jump cut to happen, the natural beauty of the cliffside and the realistic petroglyphs have been replaced with a coffee shop with some tiling on the wall. That's scarily realistic, actually. For a split second, Monica is picking her nose.
I just realized I can understand Native American petroglyphs and interpret everything for you.
What? But that's...
Crazy, coincidental, and impossible, I know.
Guard and Jacob would be excellent at YouTube sins.
I'm surprised you haven't got used to it yet.
Me too, Jacob, me too. Also, this person's realization that this is going to be on the internet. Final Destination is an okay film at best, and oh, they meant alright. This horrifying abomination exists in real life. This Rocky Horror Picture Show is entirely undeserving of 2001: A Space Odyssey imagery.
Stonehenge? Really? The Stonehenge?
Even Jacob is starting to think this is ridiculous. Stop lying to us, movie. In fact, let's just quickly add us in for every use of a location that's misrepresented in a lame attempt to blur the lines between reality and this crappily concocted pop culture parody in a blender. And no, I don't think that's too harsh for a YouTube video. Most stories at least are somewhat consistent and logical. This plot has more holes than Swiss cheese in a butterfly net. Really? That's it? I thought there were more. Whoa, sudden llamas.
If you look at the number 15, it's engraved with the same kind of writing as the Babson Stones.
The fact that Eric talks about the Babson Stones. Is he referring to the financial advice stone-filled not ghost town from before? If you actually look up the Babson Stones, you'll see that they aren't located on the West Coast, meaning that Eric has mixed up the filming location with the fictional location. Also, the writing, if you put it side by side, looks nothing alike, meaning this must have been a botched way to keep intact what little continuity this short film has.
Dun dun dun! Have you seen it here? It's like a whole new world. A whole new world. A whole new fantasy.
This chair's too hard.
This chair's too low.
This chair's just right.
Really?
Come on,
A
guys.
Goldilocks and the
Get
Three
out of here.
Bears reference? Are these people even trying? Ah! Jeez, again? A laughably poor attempt to cross out the Americas in America's Stonehenge. I get it, this is a fourth wall breaking, self-deprecating, self-aware video making fun of lame videos, but the problem is, it is, in itself, a lame video.
I saw at the museum that when it's the summer solstice, the sun sets at one end of Stonehenge and the light aligns with the stone at the opposite side.
Actually, the light does that at the sunrise of the summer solstice too, not just at sunset.
The moon rock! It's the moon rock!
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that's what they were searching for this whole time. I thought they were looking for some sort of treasure or jewels or something. Crappy ta-da trumpet stock sound effect.
What does it say?
Wait, so time is accelerating in one area, but the light is staying the same at where they are, and the guard is possessed by a moon rock in Stonehenge at sunset during the summer solstice. Its official reality is broken. This scene contains a seizure dance. A shot of the actual Stonehenge to, in vain, try to make us believe that they're really at Stonehenge. Magic time travel teleportation, because magic treasures like having convoluted ways of reaching them, I guess. Hey, let's zoom into this one tree in particular.
What happened? Where are we? Where's the garden?
Suddenly deciding to care about any form of logic.
But where are the gems?
Gee, thanks for deciding to ask the one question I've been asking this whole movie.
Was that mound of dirt there before?
It must be the gems!
Footage cutting to itself. Again.
That is the only
Even their new cameraman seems to be laughing at how ridiculous this all is.
thing that I can conclude by seeing a random mound of dirt. There's no other possible explanation.
You know what, I'm just assuming that it's impossible for any real human to actually film any of these scenes in their entirety without cracking up.
The jewels must have been here the whole time.
Mo, Larry, and Curly. See what I tell you, they didn't even bother to edit that bit out. Jacob uses dig. It's not very effective.
Oh, look, there's a note.
All of a sudden, this weird audio glitch appears that doesn't go away until the
It
final
says,
title card.
"Congratulations."
Found the jewels of Erutnevda. Adventure and appreciation for the home and what you have.
Oh, come on.
They are worth more than any gem in existence.
Oh, come on.
Don't forget that fun and knowledge is also a treasure, and be nice to people and other mushy lesser stuff.
Oh, come on.
P.S. Gotcha.
Oh, come on.
Gotcha.
The whole audio glitch effect thing here makes it seem like the archaeologists had the explicit goal of trolling the characters and the audience, which would be satisfying if that would imply that the archaeologist made up the jewels in order to mess with them and the audience. But if that's the case, then there's no way to explain all those convenient coincidences and seemingly real magic. Except for lazy writing, of course.
The most disappointing and lamed and cliched ending ever.
Monica would be great at YouTube sins.
Almost like finding a note that says it's the thought that counts.
Inside joke.
Don't forget unsatisfying. What about all those unexplained mysteries?
Eric would be great at YouTube sins.
That was really fun.
And then we need a freeze frame.
The audio delay led to this conversation between Eric and the cameraman that was supposed to be cut, but actually ends up being accidentally hilarious. Unfortunately, not hilarious enough for a sin subtraction. Sorry, there have been too many of those already. The title is shown again, just in case we forgot what movie we were watching. This is a different font from before. Instead of crediting everyone who played the guard, they just put the name from the costume as the name for every single person shown, even though that was arguably the name of the character that we, by the way, never actually hear in the film. They even made a joke about that earlier. There's only one blooper in the credits because there wasn't enough people involved to make the credits long enough for that. That's why there are bloopers in the movie, isn't it? Because of how sinful this was, this video pointing out everything wrong with it is nearly as long as the original movie. That in itself is worth a sin.
3, 2, go.
Oh, come on, an after credits scene? For goodness sake, this isn't Marvel.
Louder. Now start dancing around. Now start making whooping sounds. Now start making whooping sounds.
It either says Pickle Baby Pink, Googly Eyed Voodoo.
What the hell does that mean?
The moon rock! It's the moon rock!
Stop the presses, everybody! A rock! Oh my god, this is the biggest story ever since Squirrel!
It's a message in a bottle.
What does it say?
Dear Princess Celestia.
It's a message in a bottle.
One which had strange markings.
Learning how to read runes.
This high security building system facility.
Well, we're here.
But with your obvious infiltration skills.
Start making whooping sounds.
What? That doesn't even make any sense.
Gotcha.